This is the Fixers Show, and in this show, we talk about relationships. We say it as it is. We talk about the topics that people normally would not talk about. Today, I'll be sharing my story and my struggle and my journey on depression, on postpartum depression. So come on in, come on in. Where is everybody? So when you come in, when you join the live, let me know where you're joining from. Of my life, I praise you. You get to me, Baba. Today, I'll also be joined by my own sister, Rose Tabby. So by the time you know, the discussion is going to be very hot, very serious. So just join in, and I'll be asking questions. I'll be talking about postpartum depression. I'll also be talking about my story, my struggle with postpartum depression, and how I overcame. So if you are just joining, just let me know where you're coming from in the comment section, or where you're watching me from. Also share the broadcast, share. This is a very important topic. A lot of people don't talk about it. A friend said you are going to be talking about a topic that so many people are actually going through it, but they don't have the courage to talk about it. So today I get to be the lamb of sacrifice. You get to hear my story. You get to hear all the grueling details, all the things I went through. I'm going to be very vulnerable because it was a very vulnerable time in my life. And also I'll be trying to define, because some people have been asking me, what is postpartum depression? How do I know that I have postpartum depression? A lot of people have asked that. And I know that people want to know how can you identify somebody who has postpartum depression. One, I'm not a medical practitioner. I'm sharing my story. So you will just know that this is what happened to me. I myself, sitting here, when I was going through depression, I didn't know I was going through postpartum depression. I'd never heard about it before. I'd never seen anyone. So how could I have possibly recognized signs of things that I do not know? But I'm just happy today that God has given me the victory, because the level that I had gotten to, it was just the grace of God. I had moved from postpartum depression to postpartum psychosis. Postpartum psychosis is a mental disorder. It's the kind of one that you can kill somebody, or kill your child, or commit suicide. That was the point I got to. So, and somebody asked me again, so what prompted your wanting to talk about depression and your story? I remember I saw a post on Facebook about a lady. The first post I saw was a lady that abandoned her baby because she couldn't take care of the baby. And I was like, people were making all sorts of comments. Oh, she's heartless, she's this and she's that. But if you have not gone through it, you will not actually know what will make somebody want to leave their baby by the roadside. Trust me, you have no idea. Then I saw another story about a lady in South Africa. My network just went out. As I was saying, when I saw the lady committed suicide because she couldn't take it, I understood, because I was in that place. It got to a point I couldn't take it. It was either, mine was not suicide, mine was infanticide. I felt like the baby had come to disrupt my life. I was ready to kill my own baby because I was going through acute psychosis. It was not a joke. A lot of people will look at it and say, oh, it doesn't matter. No, my sisters and my brothers, if you are not in that shoe, you will not be able to explain what a person goes through when the person is. All my medical practitioners, all the nurses, they would understand. But I did not understand because I don't know what was happening to me. So that's why today I decided to share my story, because I know that there are people out there that would need what I'm saying. There are people out there that are actually going through what I went through, but just do not know how to come out of it. Today, I may not go to the part of how, probably that will be in another video, but I'm going to try my best to explain certain things. Please, can you put up the postpartum depression? Some people were asking, what is postpartum depression? David, I'm not seeing. Postpartum depression is a serious mood disorder that affects women after childbirth. It could be within 1 year, it could be within 3 months, it could be within 6 months. But to some people, it escalates and it transcends until after childbirth. Even when the child is growing, the depression has seeped into them. That it happened to me because I discovered that at a point in the relationship with my husband, I was still going through depression because it even affected our relationship. It's now I'm beginning to sit back. It's because my husband was patient. That is the only reason the marriage is still standing. If not, he would have walked away. So when I talked about the issue of do you know that men actually go through depression? People said, it's something we don't talk about, but of a truth, men go through depression. I would not have noticed at that time that my husband was going through depression because I was busy dealing with myself. I could not be bothered what was happening to him. It was what was happening to me that was important. And I thought that was more important than what was happening to him. And I expected him to understand what was happening to me. And if he did not understand, I would say he's insensitive. So there are certain times, like one of the things that I can always speak for myself, because some people may have different symptoms, but I had irritability. That was one of my irritability. I just could not stand it. I could not stand anything. I had mood swings. My husband will have to look at my face before he greets. If he walks into a room and the lights are off and I'm lying down, he will have to know how to greet me. If not, problem, I will start shouting. I will start creating unnecessary problems. I had anger issues. I was angry. I was frustrated. I had this feeling of worthlessness. I mean, it was fatigue. Sometimes I would be crying. I would scream. I would throw things. I had, I don't know, like kids will have tantrums. I had tantrums. But I'm going to backtrack a little so I can start my story. I'm supposed to be joined by Rose. I hope she's watching so that I'll be able to bring her into the live. So she'll be able to tell me if when she's around, she can send me so I bring her into the live. So I'm going to start the story from the beginning. You're welcome. This is the Fixers Show. It's a show we'll talk about relationships, marriage, and things that people don't normally talk about. I'm Deborah Dodoche. A lot of people say, oh, I'm a relationship therapist, counseling, whatever. That is it. I'm a relationship therapist. I'm a marriage counselor. I'm a coach, and a lot more. So this evening, I'm going to share my story. And I know it's a story of so many women who have given birth and are going through what I went through, but some of them did not survive it. Like the lady in South Africa, she could not take it, so she took her life. But I'm standing here today is because of the grace of God. God gave me victory over depression. But I'm going to say one thing. Depression is a spirit. Because if it gets a hold of you, if it doesn't destroy you, it doesn't leave you. That's what I discovered. It's like a voice in your head. It will want you to commit murder. Either you kill yourself or you kill your baby. There is this thing. Or you abandon the child. That means you don't care. There are times my baby will cry. I'll be there looking at the baby like this. I'll be looking at her. She will cry and scream. My husband will walk into the room and say, can't you hear the baby crying? I'll just be there. Unconcerned. I mean, unconcerned. I was not concerned. But let me backtrack so that we can be able to, I could start the story from the beginning. I'm talking about 15 years ago. And everybody who knows me knows I'm a social butterfly. I would not want anything to tie me down. Trust me. That was 2007. At that time, I came to Ghana. That was 2005. So 2007, after I couldn't go to the law school with all the issues, I decided now to find my feet. I started working, started seeing what I can do before I met my husband, you know. One thing led to another. I got pregnant and I didn't know I was pregnant. I just discovered I was vomiting a lot. I was weak and all that. And around that time, we were having issues with accommodation, like moving houses and all that. You know, like if you're in Ghana, you know we have issues like housing and all that. So I was vomiting and all that. I just said, okay, let me go to the hospital and check. So when I checked, I discovered I was pregnant. Oh my God. I said, not now. I just came to this country and I'm trying to find my footing. How can pregnancy come? I mean, it's not like the pregnancy was easy. So my depression actually started within the pregnancy. That means actually during the pregnancy, before it went into postpartum. I was so angry. I was so mad. I could not use my phone. I could not smell. I could not eat. Anything I put into my mouth goes out. I was in and out of hospital. I would sleep on the floor. You can't put on the light. You can't. I don't want to hear noise, sound. It's like the world was leaving me behind. What is it with pregnancy? What is wrong? That was my first pregnancy. I'm alone in Ghana. No family member. Me. How do I deal? It's not like I'm in Cameroon where I'm around my mom and I can be pampered. But this is me in Ghana, a stranger, barely 2 years. So you can imagine my frustration. And I was not giving my husband space. It was like he did everything. And thanks be to God, my husband can cook. I will smell food, but I cannot eat. I will smell nice food, but immediately it touches my stomach. It's going back. By the time I got to 5 months, I'm in and out. So anger, frustration. Before he says one, I've already started shouting. Is it because I'm pregnant? Is it because I'm pregnant? Do you think I cannot do it? Is it because he will say, I'm not quarreling with you. Why are you shouting? I say, please don't start. Because if you deal with me, if you play the way I will deal with you in this. Look at me, a pregnant woman threatening somebody. And that time, if I have a Ghanaian who is watching me, we had this doomsaw thing, light on, light off. So sometimes in the morning, you have light. Sometimes in the evening, there will be no light. Please, if you are joining us, just share the broadcast. Invite as many people. Share. Because what we are going to be discussing today is very important. That's why I'm sharing my story. So when the light will go off in the morning, I'll go to the pool and go and sit down so that I'll receive fresh air. By the time night comes and there is light, I'll sleep under the fan. I'll be okay. But the time that there's light in the morning and they have to take it off from 6 in the evening to 6 in the morning, it's like I'm dying. I will be so angry, frustrated that night. They will be moving houses. I remember we moved from here to this place. I don't know whether it's me who was bringing bad luck, because my husband will go and negotiate for a house. They'll ask him, are you married? He said yes. When he brings me, immediately they post me, they say they are not giving the house again. With all that, it was frustrating. It was so frustrating. We moved from house to house. There was even a time that they said they can only accommodate me and not my husband. So my husband had to go and look for somewhere to sleep. And that was like an uncompleted building, right? Like an uncompleted building. So my husband went to sleep at the uncompleted building. I said, all of us will only sleep in that uncompleted building because me, I'm not going to sleep in this house without you. That was how I followed him to the place that he was sleeping. Mosquitoes that night. Father have mercy. Mosquitoes. Then we finally got up. We got a house at Nungwa. Ghanaians will go there. And this guy gave us his house. As we got to Nungwa, he gave us his house. When he comes back from work, the first question he will ask is, was there light? We will say, yes. We say, oh, thank God. That means in the night, there's light off. That light off, I will be struggling to sleep. After the man gave us the house, it's like he became angry. Why he should give us the house? He started tormenting us, started making our life miserable, and my pregnancy things were not going well. But I thank God for Dr. Tete. Oh, God bless you, Dr. Tete. So my husband used to take me to Dr. Tete in Tema, Committee 2. He will give me some injection or drip. At least the vomiting will subside and I'll be able to eat something small. So by the time I got into like 6-7 months, the vomiting started subsiding. So after that, I told my husband, the way this guy is behaving, we can't live here. We have to get another place. So my husband went house hunting. And had this house at Sakumono. We got a house at Sakumono. Actually, it was somebody's boys' quarters. We had this old lady. Oh my God! It's like immediately she saw me, she was angry. I don't know. This woman didn't like me. See wahala, brothers and sisters. This lady, she liked my husband. She didn't like me. I said, but it's two of us. They say the two shall become one. If you like my husband, you must like me. If immediately she sees me out of the house, the woman will just turn her face. If my husband sends me to go and do something, the woman is angry. So as time went on, I remember getting to 8 months, 9 months, I went to Dr. Sete. I said, I wanted to give birth to my daughter on my birthday. And he said it's possible. So on the 10th of December, I went to the hospital and he induced labor for me. I was so happy. Oh my God. That finally, I'm going to give birth to this child. And the hospital, the nurses, because of the way I was always worrying them, they felt that my delivery was going to be difficult. But they didn't know that the way I wanted to push out this baby, I'm not ready to take no for an answer. So when I got to the hospital that day, after the doctor induced labor, I was gyrating and happy in the hospital, knowing that today finally the Lord has done it. So my Dr. Tete just looked at me. I said, Deborah, he said, don't worry, very soon this your singing will turn to crying. And I started laughing. By the time we got to 7, the pain started coming. We got to 8. I was still dancing small. By the time we got to 9, 10, I started seeing stars. I said, but God, you see today, this baby will drop. I remember there was another lady who was in the hospital with me, but I'm sure she lost her baby. But when she lost her baby, they didn't want to tell me. I just thought they were fidgety. I said, that one is not my business. All I'm interested is I want this baby to drop as it is. I don't want anything that will obstruct this today that I'm in the hospital. So in the night, they told my husband to go home. That by morning he comes out, I would have given birth. So when I went to I asked the nurses, what is happening? It's like the process is delayed. They said, no, they are checking me. I was 1 centimeter dilated, 2, 3, 4. They were checking. So the woman said, the way the thing is going, they'll have to cut the I don't know, the amniotic fluid, the bag, so that the water can come out. And they gave me the drip. Before the nurse even asked me to push me, I started pushing. Say, Madam Yabutre, wait, slow down. I said, you people don't know what I've been through with this pregnancy. If this pregnancy doesn't drop today, they said, don't worry, you will give birth. The way I gave birth seamlessly. The following day, they were gossiping me. By the time my husband came, they said, your wife is strong. Oh, they don't know that me, I had planned that this baby will not remain in my tummy. That's just the beginning of everything. When the baby came out, my nipple is inverted, meaning she cannot her mouth cannot grip my nipple. That's the first problem. She was so tiny. I'm sure she was like 3. I'm like, what is this? So I suffered all this suffering for 9 months to come and have this child that looked like a I didn't even want to talk. They said, no, I have to take kenke. I have to take this. I have to take that. Then the breast will come out. I said, I don't have any problem. But the baby is not breastfeeding. This girl will not eat. My breast was just getting full. I said, they don't even know how. At that time, breast pump, all those things. The nurses will be pressing. Oh God, pain. What is pain? After that pregnancy stress, I now enter postpartum. That means that the frustration just continued from the pregnancy into postpartum. Now I saw the real hell. This child will not eat. They said we should do syringe. They pull it with syringe, pull it. They'll put it in her mouth. She'll be doing. I said, what is this? They said, Madam, she will eat. Nurses will now come and hold my breast and begin to press it. All my nerves, the pain in the hospital. I said, this one, I can't take it. Then I'll be looking at her. I'm even angry. I said, if you were fat, it would have even been understandable. Look at you. You are not even fat. Ugly child. God, people are having sweet, fine children. Look at the thing that you have given to me. I was mad. I was frustrated. The devil began to play with my mind. That kill this child. Kill this child. I will look at her. I will tell myself, let me just go and squeeze her neck so that she can die. I didn't even know what was. I needed freedom, brothers and sisters. I said, I can't deal. Frustrated. Oh, they say, okay, we should do breast pump. I said, okay, no problem. My husband went to go and buy breast pump. So they were pulling the breast. They'll put it, the pump will spoil. My husband will go and buy another pump. They'll be pulling. I was angry. That time I was alone. My mother-in-law had not yet come. Even when she came, it didn't make any difference because I was already angry. I was frustrated. I remember the first 3 months, she was 5 kg. When I will go to weighing, you will see the way people have bulky babies at 3 months. I say, oh God, I'm finished. What kind of nonsense is this? I was so mad. This girl will be crying. I will not bother. I said, if you can cry, as a matter of fact, I don't want you to die. You are delaying. You will die of hunger. Thank you for joining. Share. There are mothers out there that it don't be a lot of people. The reason why I can have the courage to share is because one of the things is my husband is hearing this story for the first time. My family is hearing this story for the first time. How would you tell your own husband that you want to kill the baby? I don't know how it sounds to you. I could not tell my husband that those were my plans. I wanted this baby to be fat at all costs. Oh, what did I not do? Which food did I not buy? What did I not do? It got to a point after the breast pumps were not working. I had something, I don't know how they call it, whether it's mastitis. I don't know if you know, just put it in the comment section. I felt sick. My breast was swollen. You can't even touch it. It was hard, like I had abscess. I was dying. I said I was dying. I was on the bed shaking. My husband was confused. He said, if this guy dies, Cameroon people will kill me. A lady that just came to this country 2 years ago. How am I going to explain myself to the family? I was shaking. My nerves, my veins here were stiff because everything is connected to the breast. I was just shaking on the bed. My husband had to, okay, mastitis. Aha, that's it. Thank you. Mastitis. I had mastitis. It was bad. Hey, brethren. That was how my husband jacked me to the hospital. And the doctor gave me an injection and breast milk stops coming. Everything just calmed down. That was how my journey with breastfeeding ended. Now I had to go into formula. I tried SMA. I'm sure she was lactose intolerant. I don't know if it's her or David. One of them could not take soy. So I had to get a milk that was okay for her. This girl would not eat. She was so pale. I went from hospital to hospital, hospital to hospital. I said, what kind of Ogbanje picking be this? God, you are blessing people with children. This is the one you came to give me. Hey, God. I said, no, this child, I did everything. I will feed her with syringe. She'll be full of tea. She'll be doing she will vomit the food. I will just throw her out the bed. I said, what nonsense? You cannot come and kill me. I did not kill my mother. You won't kill me. I'll be crying. I'll be shouting. My God, help me. My husband will go to work. I'll be there crying in the house. Say, God, you don't understand. I said, I'll be crying in the house like a mad person. I'll be screaming. I'll be shouting. I said, God, why would you have to punish me? I started to confess all the sins I've committed. I said, the ones I committed against my mother. If that is the one you are using against me, Father, forgive me. I remember I called my mother in Cameroon. I said, Mommy, please forgive me. She said, Eta, what did you do? I said, for all the wrong things I did. Because from the look of things, God is punishing me. Because I was not a good daughter. I cried. My mother said, there's something she said, she usually says, she said, pussy no the born dog. She said, what you did to me, you see your child will do it to you. I was crying every day. I was irritable. I was frustrated. If you see somebody, that means I didn't even know what was happening. So I got to a point where my next target was to kill the child. Because if I can have this child that looks like this, and I had this, my Muslim friend, she had this beautiful baby. I can't remember what's the name. Fauzan or Fuzan. Hey, if you see this baby at 8 months, very bulky. I was so jealous of this baby. I said, why can my own not be like this? Every time we go for weighing, we used to go to a Jubail hospital. I'll carry my baby to Jubail. I'll wrap her. I'll carry her to the hospital. She's so frail, so tiny, so looking. I said, God, what crime did I commit? Brothers and sisters, what did I not buy? Is it cow and gate? All those little things that are in the cup, I bought. Forced her. Sometimes when she will not eat, I'll beat her. Can you imagine you beating a 8 months for nothing, just frustration? Sometimes my husband will come and be shouting at me. I say, please don't bring yourself. Your village people will not allow me. Look at the kind of child. Probably if I marry a Cameroonian, I'll have a nice child. See this one is Ghana. Look at the child, the way it's ugly. And my husband will tell, he may not even remember, but it was that bad. I was ready to commit infanticide, not suicide. I didn't want to kill myself. I just wanted the baby out of the way. I said, my family, who will I call? Is it my mother? Is it my sisters? Who am I going to explain? Because with me sitting here, I didn't even know what was wrong with me. I just had these signs. I just had this emotion. I just had all this raging inside of this deep, anger. If somebody tells you about anger, I had deep-seated anger for this child. I just could not understand why a child would come and disrupt my entire life. Not only that, not even a nice child. The child was not looking nice. Was not plumpy. Why is everybody's child fat and my own is not fat? I used to go to God. Those are the kind of things I was doing. Sometimes this child she will poo. I will not change. Sometimes my husband will come. I've not bathed the baby. You have not bathed the baby. I said, what are you doing outside that you did not come and bath this baby? Why did you not come and bath the baby yourself? She said, I think there's something wrong with you. I said, it's you that there's something wrong with. It's you. If not of me, what will I be doing with pregnancy? Poor man will just come from work and he will meet wahala at home. Sometimes he will even look at, he will not be bothered. He will go and carry her. My baby. I'll just sit at one corner quietly. I'll just be watching. I was calculating how to terminate the life of my own child. I was just planning that, one day this man will come to this house and I'm going to give him one story that the baby fell from the bed. The baby hit his head. While I was bathing the baby, it fell. I was just wanting to get rid of her. I got to a point, I'm telling you, postpartum psychosis. I had to go and check where's David? David, come and put postpartum psychosis for me. So I'll read it to you. So you understand? No, take it up. Postpartum psychosis. I moved from baby blues to postpartum depression. Then I entered psychosis because I was ready to commit murder. And when I went to the hospital, the doctors just could not understand because the questions I was asking was, why is my baby not fat? The people will be telling you, oh, there are some babies, that's their body. There are some babies like that. You don't need to worry about it. And you know that kind of thing that when you were growing up, you had always wanted your baby to be in a kind of way, you dress nice. Oh, my baby's clothes, no one will fit her. If she wears a dress, she will just slump inside the dress. No dress will fit her. I remember my mother sent some clothes from Cameroon. None of them fitted her. She was so slim and tiny inside the dress. I was like, what is this? So let me read postpartum psychosis. It's a rare and severe disorder that is characterized by drastic changes in symptoms from agitation. I was very agitated. And anxiety to memory loss and confusion. It got to a point I was confused because I've tried everything. I gave the baby everything. I used to dose my baby with appetite medicine. They gave me Abidec. They gave me, I even bought ones that were even above her age. I bought all this appetite medicine that were for children 5 years because I felt that if I gave her that one, it's going to increase her appetite and she's going to eat more and look nice and look bulky, because every time I went with the baby, everybody's baby looked nice. My own was just so frail because she was barely eating. And also, I had this negative energy that was coming from me. And I think my daughter began to sense the negative energy. Because when I was around her, sometimes I used to hold her head. I'll be hitting it like this. I'll carry my hand. I'll be hitting her. When I'm alone, I'll be hitting her head. I say, look at you. Where are you coming from? Look at the way you are ugly. Look at the way you are tiny. Look at the way you are this. I'm alone in the room. I was talking like a mad person. I'll be touching her head. I'll be pushing it. I'll be doing my hand like this. And the baby will just be there. Sometimes she'll be crying so frail. As well as hallucinations. Sometimes I'll just sit like this. I'll be thinking to myself. And disinterest. I mean, in one's own baby, I had disinterest. I was not interested. I didn't bond with my daughter from birth because there was this anger and frustrated, deep-seated. She was always on her own. I was always on my own. She's there and I'm here. They think that people carry their baby and cuddle, and I didn't do that because I just could not understand why God would give me this kind of child when I wanted something plumpy and nice. I began to compare my child with, I'll go sometimes for weighing. I will hide because my baby is so tiny. I don't want, when people, they will tell, no, normally in Ghana, when you go, they'll say, remove the baby's dress so that you can weigh. Me, I will not want to remove my baby's dress. People will be removing their baby's clothes. The one tie is like Calabayam. You see my own baby, the leg is so tiny. Even up to like 9 months, 10 months, she was not looking nice at all. Very slim and small. And they say women with bipolar disorder and schizoaffective disorder are at a higher risk of developing postpartum depression than other women. So how did I diagnose? Because that's a question. How did I know that this was not normal? Wanting to kill your own baby, it was not normal. I could not fathom what was happening to me because it was like something was controlling me. Something was it's like things were going on in my mind. My mind had been taken over by something. I don't know. I can't explain it. That's why sometimes if you see a woman kill herself, it's like a voice is telling her, you can't do it. Oh, kill yourself or kill the child. If you kill the child, you'll be free. If you do away with the child, life will be easier for you. Don't you see that this child is complicating your life? Don't you see that if you take away her life, you'll be much better, you'll be freer? And knowing who I am, I'm a very free person. I would like to go where I want to go. I would like to do what I want to do. But it's like the baby was tying me down. I couldn't go out. And most of the time, I was always in the house because I didn't want people to see the baby that I've given birth to. I was not proud of my baby for some strange reason. I didn't know what was happening. So sometimes I'll just looking back and trying to trace the story. I'm sure, I don't know, there was a day I went to Google. There was those times I used to buy baby magazines from Kuala 15 years ago. I'm telling you, after the incident, I became a baby consultant. That's what my husband said. I became a baby consultant. I bought books. So in one of the books, I discovered they were talking about postpartum depression. So I opened the book and I saw the signs. I began to notice that all the things that were written in the book were the things that I was experiencing and the things that I was going through. I didn't even know, because when I was going through the research, they said that some people will even go to the hospital and get treatment. Me, I don't even know. I never went to the hospital to go and tell the doctor that, oh, I have these thoughts. I feel like killing my baby. Let the doctors be on the alert. I didn't do that. Even my own husband, I was scared that if I were to tell my husband that I feel like killing my baby, something was going to happen. I couldn't also tell my family. So I was just there with all the emotions raging inside of me. And I know there are many women out there who are going through the same thing because they don't want people to know what they are going through, because there is this inadequacy. Especially for first-time moms. At that time, I was a first-time mom. So there was this inadequacy, because sometimes when people will see you, or older women will see you, they'll start giving you all kinds of prescriptions and concoctions and things. Hey, why don't you give it this one? Why don't you pump the child? Why don't you do this one? Why don't you do this one? So in the midst of all that information, you don't know what to do. You can't even process the information rightly. So you are confused, because if I tell you the amount of doctors I had for that one child, I'll go to Jubail, I don't get. I'll go to another hospital, I don't get. I'll go back to my doctor. I say, this child is not eating. You tell me you are worrying yourself. The child will eat. I'll go to another doctor. I'll have prescription from this hospital. I'll have prescription from this hospital. I'll have prescription from this. Why? I just wanted, it's now I'm trying to process, acceptance. I wanted my baby to be nice. I wanted people to accept my baby. I wanted to have a baby that is posh, like the way other people's babies are. And like when you come to Ghana for when you see children, you see a 6-month-old child. The child is like a 1-year-old baby, very bulky. But if you saw my baby at 6 months, she was so frail, so small, she was tiny. And that began to play on my psyche. And the fact that she was not eating just kind of heightened my frustration and irritability. So people ask me, so when you discovered, how can you know that somebody has postpartum depression? I'm going to give a classic example. I have this lady. She gave birth, and one day I just sat in the house. She was there, the baby, everybody was there, and I was watching her. I was watching her movements. I was watching her actions. And when we got home, I told my husband that this lady has postpartum depression. He said, how do I know? Because when you immediately come, she will just give you the baby. And you build the baby till you go back. She won't hold it. I saw a disconnect. I saw what I was going through. Hers is not psychotic. Hers is just depression. And I'm sure she's like me, who had a certain way or manner or thought or dream that she wanted her baby to be. Probably she wanted a baby that she'll be taking his photo shoot with. They'll be wearing the same kind of dress. They'll be snapping. She'll take her to parties, take to the mall, take her to everywhere that she wants to go. But like me, the baby too did not come out the way she expected the baby to come out. So she's ashamed of the baby. I started to explain it to my husband. He said, so you were able to deduce all of that there? I said, yes. I could pick it. The signal, I could see. So I told my husband, call the husband to come. When the husband came, I said, do you know your wife is suffering from postpartum depression? He said, what is that? I said, your wife has something they call postpartum depression. She's depressed. 2 things. You have to take this lady to see a doctor. He said, I've taken her to the doctor. There's nothing wrong. I said, you have to take this lady to the doctor before it's too late. This lady is suffering from depression. So I said, she may not be able to open up to you. Do you have somebody that you can speak to the person, and the person, she can confide in the person, and the person promises not to tell you the outcome of the discussion? I asked him that question. I said, because if I had somebody that I was sure that the person was not going to tell my husband the discussion that we had, I would have opened up to the person. I didn't have that person. So I asked him, if you have somebody like that, a shrink, take your wife to that person. Let her vent every possible anger and frustration that is built up in her. She's going to feel relaxed. Then I asked him, do you have anybody that can take this child from your wife for 2 weeks so that she can gain her composure, since as the baby is not even breastfeeding. He said no. I said, if you do these things that I'm telling you, you're going to save the life of that woman. I don't know how they ended. I didn't follow up, but I could pick it because I had been there. I've seen women like that, several of them. I'll just sit back. Once you give birth and I'm able to watch 1 or 2, 3 movements, I can tell this person is depressed or this lady is depressed. And most of all, it's even worse when you have financial challenges. Because during the pregnancy, one of the things I had was, what am I going to buy? Anxiety. I was anxious. We'll go to the market. I want to buy everything. Oh, we should buy this one. We'll buy 8, 12 of this one, 6 of this one, 13 of this one. Anxious. I was anxious. So that's why this lady, when I went there, she wanted to even go to Dubai to shop. I started to see. So when the baby came out and she had bought all this nice and flamboyant stuff and the baby could not wear it, you can imagine how she felt. She doesn't go out because she doesn't want people to see the baby. She doesn't want to say, hey, hold me. Look at the kind of child that I gave birth to. And a lot of women are going through that. But if they can only get somebody to vent, they'll be fine. Because you are so scared that if my husband were to hear these inner thoughts that I have, what is my husband going to think of me? That was what I thought. If I were to tell my own husband that I wanted to kill my own child, how is he going to take it? So when I see women like that and I pick up the signal that they are depressed, because if you're going to tell me, you are scared to talk to me because your husband is my husband's friend, there is a tendency or there is a high probability that I am going to tell my husband and my husband is going to tell your husband. Do you understand what I'm saying? So as you grow, you have people around you. The question has always been, how do you know a woman is depressed? How are you able to pick the signal that this woman is depressed? Or this men, even I have no clue. But I know, because we do hospital ministration, we used to go to the hospital and we see women that have been abandoned by their husbands in the hospital. They're abandoned. The men just disappeared. The woman is in the hospital frustrated. They have left them in the hospital. It will not occur to me. They say, the man could not pay the bill. The man is depressed. The man is frustrated. Where is he going to get money to take his wife out of the hospital? So men even, they just hear the bill in the hospital. They have disappeared. It's not funny. So you can imagine a woman going through depression and a man going through depression, and they have welcomed a baby in the house. How do you expect that baby, that love? There's no love. The woman is angry, the man is angry. There's a frustration in the man, there's frustration in the woman. They are screaming, they are shouting, and there is a baby there. So I'm not talking about, it's not child's play. I'm telling you, it's not child's play. Sometimes people will just say things. They will throw words in the air because they have not been in that shoe. They have no clue what is going on. They don't. Because I'm going to do a show about men's depression. Probably I don't know if it's going to be the next one I'm going to do. But I'm also going to have a show with the CEO herself, Susan. Actually, my first discussion was supposed to be with her, but I said, okay, let me move her on. She's going to share her experience with us, how she knew she was depressed and how she overcame her own depression. And I'm also going to talk, I need a man that would volunteer, a man who has gone through postpartum depression, so that I can also ask these questions, so that men can also learn. Because sometimes a man can be depressed, but he doesn't know. And I have a classic example. I know a lot of you watch, you know about social media, you know about Cora Obidi, the story of Cora Obidi. When I sat and I was watching, I was just looking at Cora Obidi. I'm like, how can this woman survive something like this? You have no idea. Giving birth 3 weeks, you are in a divorce, you're having issues, and social media has an opinion. People are saying this. People are saying that, the husband is this, is Cora that is the problem. And Cora had to, I don't know. Cora had to be strong. I saw a woman brace the odds. Because there are people that will break down. Depression will, they'll get psychotic, trust me. But when I look at Korah Obidi, I'm saying, what is this woman made of? To still go through that after having Athena at that age, and she's still standing. You have no idea. I will just encourage us to be watchful. When you see a woman who has given birth, be watchful. There are symptoms, mood swings, irritability, frustration, anger, especially the aspect of not wanting to bond with your child. You have to watch. Check what is going on. Don't pass judgment. It doesn't help because you don't know what the person is going through. It's a tough place to be. It's like you are in a hole and you are screaming for help, but nobody can help you because they don't understand what you're going through. How are you going to articulate your pain? How are you going to tell people what you're going through? Is Rose in this call? I'm looking for her. Okay, Rose, can you send me like you want to join the broadcast so I could add you to the call? Like you want to join the broadcast so I can bring you in? So people will not understand. They'll think there's something wrong with you. They'll think this thing you're saying, are you sure? And in our African context, probably abroad, those who are abroad, they are seeing all these things. It happens. People take their lives. In Africa, it's not normal. It's not something that you can tell your neighbor. Rose, you need to send me, like, I want to join the live broadcast. Let me see if I'll be able to bring you in. Because if you don't do that, I can't bring you in. Okay, let me see if I've sent you the. I'm adding. You can come out. So I'm telling you the honest truth. This is me bearing out what I went through. I say my family members had no idea that I went through this kind of thing. I remember that was December. I was in Cameroon. And at that time, she was not even walking. She was so small. She came to, we did her birthday in Cameroon. I'm not sure she was walking at that time at 1. She wasn't walking. She was so slim. Her feet were not even that firm in the ground to walk. I can remember when we were in Cameroon, she had to stand on the table to cut her cake. But I'm sure she walked at 1, likely 1 like that. And because of my many travels, I had to leave her with my mom. And there was a time when she was with my mom growing. And my mom would send me pictures of her. I said, this is Emerald. This is your Emefa. I would look at her. I said, hey, look at this beautiful girl. Just like that, I would have killed my own child. Just like that, I would have taken her life. Because I was in a dark place. And I know that there are so many women in that dark place. I can tell you without a shadow of doubt that depression is a spirit. Nobody can convince me because when it attaches itself, you must kill something. Either when you get psychotic, you either kill the baby or kill yourself. Something must spoil. Or either you lose the marriage. It gets that serious. But except God gives you a patient man to stand by you in that time, I'm telling you, you will lose that man. Because you will be doing things like somebody that is not normal. You will even begin to think that it got to a point, I thought that my husband was my problem. I started to think about all kinds of things. Rose, I'm trying to bring you in, but it keeps saying connection failed. I don't know what the problem is. I started thinking my husband was my problem. I'll look at it sometimes. He will go to work and come. I'll be so angry. I don't know what is causing me to be angry. No idea. I just had this hatred for him. I just like, you are the one who put me in this situation. If I didn't get pregnant, probably all these things will not happen. Look at where I found myself. I began to play the blame game. I began to look at him with a different eye. And let me, truth be told, it lingered. It lingered in my relationship. If my husband did not love me, I won't be married today. I'm telling you, just that situation lingered. It lingered. It went and went. It got to a point. My husband's hand, if he just passes my body, oh, I say if he touches my body, I'm saying I'm sleeping in the night. His body just rubbed my body. The way I will shout, the way I will stand and scream. I'm sure I had my second child 5 years later, almost 4-5 years, because I struggled for 4 good years. My relationship suffered. My intimacy life suffered. In short, it was so subtle, but it was creeping inside. It was going. You see us outside, everything is fine. But when we go back to the house, there is this struggle. I didn't know. It's not like I can say that it's something that I meant to do. I just could not understand what was happening. I'm saying I would divide the bed. I would divide the bed into 2. I said, that's your portion. This is my portion. Don't come close. If you come close, I will scatter. I will make like a mad person. I said, oh, you want to come again so I should get pregnant? I think I'll have another child for you. There's something wrong with your brain. I'm saying, to get intimate, we'll be strong. It got to a point where we're struggling. Sometimes you look at me, what is wrong with you? Are you okay? I said, leave me alone. We almost were exchanging fights. I say, you will not try it. You think I want to come and have another child that is like that girl? Another child that I'll come and suffer. Another child that I'll not be able to do what I want to do. You're not the one who brought me to this country. You didn't pay my flights. Hey, come and see. It's a spirit. I'm telling you that it's a spirit. Change the music to break it. I'm telling you today, it's a spirit. So when somebody is going through depression, add prayer to it. Add fasting if possible, because you don't know the next move the person is going to do or the next stunt he or she is going to put. It's God that delivered me, and the deliverance came because one of the things was my husband is a patient person. For some strange reason, he understood. I don't know how he understood, but he understood that I needed time to process. But how many people have that time? How many people will wait for you to find yourself, to be able to get your act together? They will start telling you, now you are born, now you be the first to born. Well, mama, they born 6 children. They born 7 children, nothing happened. Now you are born. Are you the only person who has given birth? You start hearing things like that, and those things will get you more angry. When somebody starts saying that, start comparing you with the mother. Hey, my mother had 11 children. All these things you are doing, I will leave this house for you. You will hear things. I've counseled people who go through that. I've counseled people where their marriages are at the brink of collapsing because the women are depressed and the husbands do not understand. There is power. There is power. They don't get it because you yourself, who is in the position or who is depressed, you don't get it. You don't understand what is happening to you. How can you articulate what is happening to you before the other person will understand what is happening to you to come to your rescue? There are so many women out there. I remember what my sister Eneke said. She said, you are going to talk about something that a lot of people are going through, but they are afraid to talk about. It's a struggle that women are struggling, but they are afraid to talk about, because the question is, how are you going to look at them? How are you going to tell somebody, I want to kill my child? Are you going to tell somebody, I feel like committing suicide, because you can't take it? You will hear things like, oh, are you the first to have given birth? People have given birth, they have not killed themselves. Why is it that your own birth are you special? You start hearing things like that, but they don't understand that something is happening to you. They don't understand that there is a force, that there is a power behind it. that is ready to destroy you. If it doesn't destroy you, destroy your baby, destroys your marriage, but it comes to destroy something. So I'm just coming to encourage a woman out there, and especially women who have autistic children. Women who have autistic children. If you are around a woman who has an autistic child, I beg you in the name of God, support that woman. You have no idea what it means to be with a child who has a challenge. My child could not eat. Ordinary eats. I fell into acute depression. Imagine a woman who has a child who has cerebral palsy or has autism. You have no clue. She needs the support. People treat them like outcasts. They treat their children like outcasts. I've been to a place where autistic mothers come. If you go, I don't know how, I've forgotten how to call these people that work with physiotherapists. You will see autistic mothers bringing their children to physiotherapists to work on the bones so that they can walk. Some of them are as old as 5, 6, 7, 8. They are not talking. They are not walking. Do you know the level of frustration? You don't know the level of frustration that woman is going through. If we would just be compassionate, if we would just give a listening ear, if we would just create a support system, I'm telling you, it will go a long way. I am standing here today is by the grace of God. If not, I don't know. I can't explain it, how it happened, but I'm standing here talking to you, telling you my story. I know some people will say, wow, so she went through this. But as somebody always says, that it is good, or we are not what we go through. We don't look, thank God we are not what we go through. So sometimes we go through because we want to be able to help another woman out there that needs the kind of help we have to offer. I know how many women I've spoken to. I know how many women I've interacted with. I know how many women I've encouraged who are depressed, because I could pick the signal. I could understand what they were going through. I could see it. I could feel it. I would not judge them because nobody judged me, though they didn't know what I was going through. Because people are afraid to be judged. Women are afraid to be judged. Some people, their tongues are too sharp. They are quick to speak. They don't understand that it is not what it looks like. Appearances can be deceptive. That's why the Bible says, God looketh at the inward, but man looketh at the outward. Nobody sees what you're going through. They just see how you look outside. So they assume that things may be working out for you. It may not necessarily be so. You can even see a woman who has given birth. She may be depressed, but she could be smiling. When you come and see her for Omugo, you come and see her for Born House, she's trying to keep up appearances. Deep down inside, she has a battle raging. Sometimes it's not even money. It's not about money. Some people think if they have money, that is when it's because a woman has financial problem. That's why she. No. How it happens, you don't understand. Sometimes expectation. I had expectation. The way I'm fine, the way my mother's children are fine. I wanted to have a bulky child. I had this expectation. And because my expectation was not met, I was depressed. I was angry. I was irritable. I was frustrated. There may be something that you wanted. There must be an expectation. I'm sure you were growing up. You say, I want my child to look like this. Or I even want, there are sometimes even you say you want a boy. Then you got a girl. You go into depression. I remember my second pregnancy. I really didn't have, there was no issue of depression. I was okay. That was my boy, David. I was eating. When David came out, he was eating. He was fat. Oh, I was happy. My third child, Sparkle, I didn't want a girl. I wanted a boy. So when I got pregnant, I didn't even want that pregnancy. I remember I didn't want it. My third child, I said I didn't want it, that pregnancy. I remember when Prophetess Deborah Namdi came to Ghana. My sister, Mrs. Ogbonna, Ruth, she called me. There is this woman of God from Dakar. I want you to meet her. So I went to the hotel at King Solomon Heights. King Solomon Hotels. So when we're talking with her, gisting about women empowerment, she just stopped. She said, Deborah, why? Why are you carrying a child? I said, Mommy, please. As you see me like this, me and God, we have agreement. And what is the agreement? No children. I've gotten 2. I need to get my acts together. I need to get my life together. I don't want anything baby matter. Then she asked me, are you trying to say that I did not see well? I said, Mommy, you did not see well. In short, me and God have agreements. This one, it will not happen. She says, that's why I said yes. No problem. Then I went to, when I was on contraception, so I said, it's not possible. No. Pregnancy, no, it's not possible. She didn't see well. I was moving. My mouth started getting bitter. Vomiting, because once I start vomiting, I start suspecting. But my husband knew I was pregnant, but I did not know I was pregnant. So when he said, we could just do pregnancy test, I said, you can't be pregnancy, forget the test, I'm going to do malaria. He said, but there's no harm in trying. Why don't you just do the test? Even if it's not pregnancy, we'll go and start treating malaria. I bought the kit. We're going back to the house. When I took the kit, I went to the toilet. If you have not heard shouting, no, I screamed. I screamed so loud. He came, he thought something happened to me. I saw 2 red lines. I said, it's not possible. I said, okay, even if I'm pregnant, I was angry. Throughout my 3rd pregnancy, I never smiled. I was angry. I was mad. People were happy for me, but I was not happy for myself. I didn't want this child. Okay, I said, okay, God, the baby has come. I don't want a girl. I want a boy. My husband said, in my family, it is girl, boy, girl, boy. I said, you lie bad. I said, see that order, it will change. He said, I am telling you that this child is a girl. I said, it's a boy. 5-6 months, I went to go and do the scan. And that day, I was on the phone. So while the person was doing the scan, I was talking with a friend on the phone. I can't remember. And he finished and cleaned my stomach. I said, Madam, calm down. And I said, so what? He said, it's a girl. I used my hand and blocked the mouth of the of the man who is doing the scan. I just took my hand and pressed his mouth. He said, Madam, what happened? I said, hey, don't try it. Don't even, in short, you have to redo the test, do the thing again. He said, Madam, it's a girl. I said, you did not see well. It cannot be a girl, it's a boy. He said, okay, you want me to redo it? I said, yes. He went, he did it again, it was a girl. I carried the result. I was very down. I walked slowly to the house. So when I got, my husband was just laughing. He said, so what did the test say? He said it's a girl. He said, but I told you. I said, no problem. I was not smiling. I remember when I gave birth to Sparkle, just seeing her, the experience, because I had 2 children, I had a template. Let me put it that way. There was a template. I refused to be pressured into what would pressure other people. I didn't listen to anybody. Even when I gave birth to, I didn't listen to anybody. I managed my expectation of the baby. I took care of her myself. Everything that I was supposed to do, I did it. And at that time, I was at Sakumono Church, Winners Chapel. Oh, God bless you, Mama Linus. Sweet woman. God bless you, woman of God. So when we're there in Sakumono, she would call me. She carried the baby. And I had this love. I had this affection. The whole church. Everybody was all over. Sparkle, everything. If there was anything that was in me that would not have wanted, everything around me, there was so much love. And when I named her Sparkle, everybody was intrigued by her name. Oh, Sparkle, Sparkle. I was even serving in the church. I was in the children's department. And in Winners Chapel, if you are in Sakumono branch children's department, you must get pregnant. When I joined the department, I got pregnant. They say, everybody here, once you wish, you must get pregnant. I was 7. There was something different about my first pregnancy and my third pregnancy. Though she was a girl, I was not pressured. There was this love. The question is, how did I overcome depression? How is it I'm still standing? How am I standing? One thing changed the narrative. One thing. Just one thing. I mean, one thing. After this, we'll be closing very soon. I'm going to be praying for women who have children. I'm going to be arresting. So, oh, sorry, my internet went out. Okay. So I'm going to be praying for women who are going through depression. I'm going to be praying for women. We are also going to do a talk on singles. I'll be talking with Rose. I don't know why I've been trying to add her to the program, but it's not coming. I think I'll have to work on getting another streaming app so that we can both come online. We're talking about singles. I'm going to do a whole show on singles, and I'll also be praying for single ladies, because there is this thing when you get to a certain age, you are not married, pressure, depression. Because I remember there is this lady, the lady that I posted on my page, Afoleke in Nigeria. They said she died. She was single. She didn't have a husband. She died out of depression. So sometimes you don't even know that single ladies are going through depression. They are, but you wouldn't know. But I'm going to say this. How did I overcome depression? How is it that I'm still standing? I called my mom. I don't know if she will remember this story. In Cameroon, I started complaining about my daughter. I started complaining how she looks macheted and thin and ugly and not looking nice. My mother listened to me rant 15 years ago. I don't know if she can remember that discussion. I was ranting and raving and ranting and angry and all that. After I finished talking, she asked me, have you finished talking? She said, yeah. She said, you are ungrateful. I said, Mommy, what happened? She said, do you know there are women out there looking for even a premature baby they don't have? They are looking for babies they don't have. You have the privilege, you have the opportunity to have a baby, and you are complaining. What are you even complaining about? I sat quiet. She talked to me, and the discussion, she spoke for a long time. When my mom dropped the phone, it's like something left me. It's like a weight, whatever was on me left me. That was the moment. It broke. The spirit of depression broke. I'm not sure my mom will remember that discussion. And I began to understand I was being ungrateful. I was not appreciative of what God had done for me. That there were women out there looking for what I have. I had what they were looking for, and I was not appreciative of what I had. I said it changed the trajectory of my life. I began to look at my daughter in another light. I began to look at her. That is when I began to see her beauty. You need a support system. Sister, you need it. You have to make yourself a support system. If you're watching me, hear this. You have to make yourself a support system. No, but I'm not sure my mom even understood what happened. I'm not sure she understood it. I went down on my knees alone in my room, and I began to thank God. I began to ask for forgiveness. I said, God, I am sorry if I have taken the blessing for granted. I said, I am sorry if I have been ungrateful. I have been busy chasing shadows. There are women out there that need even a preemie baby of 7 months. There are women out there that have been taunted. There are women out there that have been at the brink of divorce, at the brink of being chased out of their matrimonial homes because they don't have a child. You have a child and you're complaining because she's not eating? Is that even a problem? And I knelt down and I began to ask for forgiveness. It's like something, the veil fell off my eyes. The thoughts of killing my own child disappeared. Everything is like there was a smoke screen that's open. Poof! And I picked up my child for the first time. And I looked at this beautiful emerald of a child that I had. And I saw how beautiful she was. And I began to sing. And I began to thank God for her life. My husband was not even there. I was alone in the house. The trajectory changed. Everything changed. I'm standing here because I had a support system in my mom. If she didn't say what she said, and I'm sure God used her to say what she said to me. And I'm here to encourage somebody who is in that situation that God can do it. You can come out of depression. It is a wicked spirit. I decree in the name of Jesus. If you are going through depression right now, you spirit of depression, I arrest you in the name of Jesus. There is power in the name of Jesus. I arrest you, foul spirit, out of that woman. Leave her life alone. Yantakosa, Lebrata, let that spirit break now in the name of Jesus. Call our shutter. We break the chains of depression. Begin to pray right now. If you're with me, pray for that woman. Pray for that sister. Pray for that man that might be going through depression. Break right now. You spirit of suicide, I rebuke you. Get out of her life. She will not kill her child. In the name of Jesus. You spirit of infanticide, I command you right now. Out in the name of Jesus. Break. Jesus. Leave that woman alone. Leave that woman alone. Leave that lady. I speak to you. If you are listening to me, if you have a sister, a brother who is going through depression, I adjure you, you wicked spirit, get out of her life. In the name of Jesus, I uproot you from the root. In the name of Jesus, the Bible says in the book of Psalm 127, he said, unless the Lord build a house, the builders build in vain. Unless the Lord watches a city, that watchmen work in vain. He says it is vain for you to wake up early and sleep late to eat the bread of sorrow. For the Lord giveth his beloved sleep. That it says in 3 or 4. It says children are a heritage from the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is a reward, my sister. That's the benefit you have in that relationship, in that marriage. Psalm 127. He said, happy is the man that has his quiver full of them. They shall be prouder in the gate in their enemies. Against their enemies. Kona kalata yadosh. Ratoko sina makuta liba. Reketekete. You wicked spirit, kadosata. I arrest you out. Just like the Lord delivered me from post-partum psychosis. I speak into your life. I speak into your destiny. You don't know what a child is going to become. You don't know what you yourself you're going to become. Because my Bible tells me, Jesus said, I know the plans that I have towards you. They are thoughts of good and evil to bring you to an expected end. God has a plan for your life. That child is not an accident. That child is not a mistake. It could look like that, but it is not. God has a plan. Karabashata. Zukando brokosita. Father, in the name of Jesus, I give you praise. I give you glory. Thank you for that which you have done. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my family. Thank you for my children. Father, I thank you for the grace to be able to share my story today. And I know my story is going to bless somebody. It's going to change the trajectory of the life of somebody that is watching me right now. Father, I give you praise. I give you for the opportunity that you have accorded me to share my story and my journey. Your journey may not be as gruesome as mine, or it may not be as bad as mine. But whatever the situation is, know that God's got your back. God has got your back. It is not a mistake. It's not an accident. You may just be going through a phase right now, but trust me, that phase is going to pass. It's just a matter of time. Look at me today. 15 years later, my daughter is beautiful. It's fine. If the enemy had caused me to terminate her life, what would have happened? Emerald, where are you coming? Come and see the girl. The postpartum depression girl. Where are you? Come. Karata Solina Matthias. Rabadagadagada. She too is sharing the story for the first time. She's crying. She said, Mommy, you wanted to kill me. No. Someone. So this is my girl. 15 years later. I'm talking about 15. In December, she'll be 15. I would not have had the opportunity I have today. It is God that kept me. I want you to look at her and let her be a reminder to you that no condition is permanent. No situation is permanent. It doesn't matter what you're going through. Trust me, it must come to an end. If God had not used my own mother, God used her to speak to me, this beautiful Emerald will not be alive today. I don't know what I would have done. I could have not even guaranteed my sanity. But I thank God that He has allowed me to be able to share my story out there so that people would listen, learn. Thank you, Father. So I thank you so much for watching. We are going to be having consequence shows. We're going to talk to singles, depression, singles. We're also going to have depression with men and men. So if I have a man who could join me on the show to talk about their talk about their story, we could have a discussion. I was supposed to have Rose on, but I've been trying to bring Rose in and she's not coming in. And if there's any other thing you want us to discuss, it's called the Fixers Show. So there are things that are broken. And we know that there are people out there that have situations that they just need a listening ear. They just need information. They just need knowledge. And I know it's not always easy to be vulnerable, but I decided that it was time I shared my story with everybody. So thank you so much for coming. I can see Mama Song. Wow. I can see prophetess, my own prophetess Grace. I can see Sally Aya. Mother Enyong is watching. Oh my God. Mom's side, the mom's side. Oh, so good to see you. Thank you so much, Mom. Pastor Pleasant Naomi, thank you so much for joining. Ife Agina Ibe, I'm so grateful you could join. Emilienne Tagbo, Emilienne, thank you so much. Rose, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so grateful. Angie Omar, thank you so much for joining. Esobe Ballet Cafe, I'm so happy you could join. Thank you so much. Mavis Bena, I'm happy to see you. Ruth Awa, thank you. Oh, my own Pastor Wahima So good to see you, ma'am. I'm happy you joined the live. Dr. Mabel, wow. Deborah. Oh, so good to see everybody. H.E. Juliet, I hope my story blessed you. Rebecca, Myra, Otobanje. Oh, my own big sister. So good. Benis Benchop. My creamer sister. So good to see you. Raphael King Mojo. Oh, thank you, Raphael. Thank you, Prudence Ayok. So happy that you could come. Mildred Mesembe. Oh, my cute, fine sister. Thank you so much. Thank you. My own big sis, Jacqueline Tako. I'm so grateful you could join, and every other person. Priscilla, Latele Kwao. I'm so happy you could join. So happy. Rebecca, Wasedio, my creamer sister. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, for listening to me, for allowing me to vent and share my story. These are things I know people don't normally do because they don't want to be vulnerable. But I knew that it's something we need to talk about. It's something we need to let others know it's actually happening, and that we should learn. We should just try to be each other's support system. If that woman gives birth, try your best to be supportive. You just might not know you are saving somebody's life. You understand? You are saving somebody out there and all that. So I'm just encouraging us that make yourself a support system. Those are one of the things. After I went through that phase of depression, I discovered the power of a support system. I discovered that when you have people that stand with you, you can easily go through. The God factor is there too. The God factor is important. You have to know who you surround yourself with. That will be like a circle for you, because you may be even that. Sometimes they say there is no formula in pregnancy. It may even be your third pregnancy and you are depressed. Why? Because you may have had aspirations. Probably you had wanted to do your master's degree. I remember there was a time, I don't know, Bernadette. Is it Bernadette? No. She said she was about to do a master's program. Then she got pregnant for her. Is it her fourth or fifth child? And she was devastated. Things like that. You may have an aspiration. You may want to go back to school. Like sometimes you say, oh, I'm going to do this now. And you get pregnant. You know, with pregnancy, it's not just 9 months. It's 9 months plus the time the baby has to become 1 year. You may not even have the opportunity to go back to work. It looks like it has just disrupted your plans. And that disruption can cause you to go into depression. It may not be as acute as mine, like being psychotic, but you can be depressed. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Deborah Dodoche. I'm a coach, I'm a counselor, and I'm a relationship therapist. I'm the fixer. I'm the fixer. So when it is broken, trust me, we are going to fix it. Thank you so much. Good night. And see you in our next live. Hopefully, I should be talking with Susan Moore if she gives me the opportunity and the go ahead. We'll set up another live and she'll get the opportunity to share her own story. And I'm also hoping a man will reach out to me so that I can do something about depression and postpartum depression and men. Then I'll be talking to Rose, my twin sister. We'll be talking about postpartum depression and singles. We'll also be talking about postpartum depression and even ministers of the gospel. You have no idea. Even I, as a minister of the gospel, there are pastors who are going through depression because of certain things in ministry. Probably the ministry is not growing. There's a way you want to get to. There's a level the person expected their work would have grown and it's not happening. The person goes into depression. So there are so many angles that we are going to be handling the issue of depression. I also like to get caregivers, nurses, and all that come on the show and support me. Probably give me the medical side to it. I didn't go to the hospital. I don't know how people are being treated for depression. I learned that some people get medication. They give medications to people. I never had a medication. I never drank anything for it. So I can't give a prescription because I didn't have one. So I would like to talk to some. I have my siblings. Some of them are into the health profession. If they can give me the opportunity to join the show so they get to talk more about it from the clinical side and the medical side, trust me, I'll be really, really grateful and happy. So thank you so much for watching. This is goodbye from Accra, Ghana. Thank you. I'm very happy. So when we have the next show, I'm going to put up the date when we are going to have the next show, so everybody will be in the know so that we can still join and we learn from each other and impart knowledge, because that's all I want to do. I want to impart knowledge. So if there's something you want us to discuss, there's something that you want us to talk about, just send me a DM or write it in the comment section, and trust me, we'll be able to tackle that. Thank you so much. God bless you for watching. Bye bye.